the Missoula City Band. Thanks for being here. I see some of you brought your rain gear. I'm sure glad to see that. As the day has drifted on, it's looked like, oh my gosh, and it began to sprinkle. Is it still sprinkling out there right now? Okay, it's just supposed to be real light. It'll be fine, and God bless you. Hey, if you didn't have a chance to get the book beforehand, I'll be here afterwards unless there's a flood from Augusta coming down, and I'll be glad to sign your books, or on any subsequent week. I don't think I'm going to sell out today. Hey, will you please rise to the national anthem? Well, the history of the Missoula City Band starts and ends with our director, Alex Steppenzoff. And even though the rest of his music will come later in the program, historically, tonight's program will review our history, the last 150 plus years of the Missoula City Band. We started together in 1865, and we're still here, folks. But the old man who kept it together would start every year of every concert, every first time, over and over and over. Here is old comrades, because we may have been separated for the last 9 months, but in the end, we are all old comrades. Come on up, it's yours. Oh, I'm looking for my paper. There it is. So, from the Anaconda Standard, Sunday, May 28th, 1893. It is announced, not through the medium of flashy three-sheet posters, but a quiet, uncontentious manner, that should the fair weather prevail, the Garden City Band, which was our name in 1893, will make its first appearance in the public at the Courthouse Square on the evening of Decoration Day. In the view of the circumstances, it is an open question whether it would be well to pray for rain or pleasant weather. Some kind of cruel joke. The instruments are new and powerfully noisy, and the boys have not had very much practice. It is hardly to be expected, therefore, that their appearance under these circumstances will be a howling success. However, the members of this musical organization insist that there is a surprise in store for the good people of Missoula, and let us know that it may be so. It is said that one of the musicians that has been practicing a B-flat solo entitled "Alice, Where Art Thou?" to be rendered on this occasion, but it having been pointed out to him that the celebration be inappropriate for Memorial Day, that he packed up his belongings and went off on a vacation. The number, of course, being stricken from the program. Well, we're taking care of that business now. Here is Ross Tate and Alice, Where Art Thou? You're going to need a microphone. Yes, you are. I'm playing loud. Illinois, back in 1904, Mrs. Knapp wrote and won the competition at the Montana State Fair to make the new state song. This is it. She wrote it to the song O Tannenbaum because she didn't have a melody. So it was originally, our chosen state, all hail to thee, Montana, my. Well, the folks didn't much like that, so they found a composer in Anaconda named Gustav Fischer who wrote this music, and then it became the unofficial, it never became the state song, it became the unofficial alma mater of the University of Montana. And here's an arrangement by James Eversole, who wrote for us for years and was the band director here at the university after the Korean War, and also conducted this band for some time. Here's Ron Wilcott and Candy Johnson, Montana, My Montana. In 1911, the most important event in Missoula's history took place. The biggest single event still in our history. Bigger than Pearl Jam. Bigger than the Stones and the Beatles put together. After he toured the Panama Canal and was our president, he was stumping for another term afterwards. And he showed up here at 6:30 in the morning on the train coming from Coeur d'Alene, and Teddy Roosevelt stepped off the train, and 50,000 people were here to be with Teddy Roosevelt. It was huge, and of course, our city band was in front of it all. And after he stepped off the platform and they paraded him down Higgins Avenue to the Florence Hotel, they played this for the president. bad at all. Teddy Roosevelt. Oh my gosh. Well, it didn't end well anyway for Teddy. We didn't get him in office another time around. Hey, the history of the city band is rich and full. It's been so much fun researching and writing the book. But thank God I was wise enough to get good editors. And I'd like to thank those people publicly here and now. They're going to stand up, hold your applause, and then we're going to applaud them, because without them, the book would just be an amalgamation of garble in your hands, much like my announcing is. My first go-to boy is the son of one of my best friends, and he's here this evening. Ross Peterson, stand up, boy. Hold your applause, even if you know Dean. Dean and I owe each other favors, there's no doubt about it. Ross was the first boy I sent it to. He's an aspiring writer, and he's been hanging out at a beer joint for the last couple of years. And the second fellow I sent it to is a band parent of mine from years ago. He's an accomplished writer, published writer, and knows what he's doing. Many of you remember him as the reference librarian at the Missoula City Library. Don Spreitzer, I know you're here, sir. Please stand up. Or did you melt already? There he is. There he's got reindeer on. Hold on, hold your applause. We'll get them all one time. And then my final editor, who dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, and even after it had been through two editors, this sucker found something wrong in every page I sent him. Sitting back in our tuba section, George Washington. Now we can applaud. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, John. And the person that did all the research for me, well, probably 80% of the research, she found out I was intent on writing the book, and she found out rehearsal about that. And I ran away to go to my mama's birthday 2 years ago, and when I got back, I had more than 100 emails in my inbox from this lady who did all my research for me. And she's just a treasure trove of information, and she has kept me honest and full of information the whole time. She's the kind of lady you never, ever say no to. In our horn section, Sue Hintz. Thank God for her. Hey, back in 1929, Victor Herbert was like Rodgers and Hammerstein, for those of us at my age. This is Broadway. But before Broadway was Broadway. Here's the Victor Herbert favorite. This is The Red Mill. Our arranger comes from 49, but he wrote it in 29, and before the award-winning movie ever was made, they made a silent picture of this particular piece of music. bless you. Our wonderful collection folks will be riding you money right now, stealing all the money out of your pockets that you hadn't bought the book for. If you want to, you can save some of your money and buy the book afterwards, or I'll be here next week again. Thank you so much for your donations. The city continues to give us a little bit of money, but that's only part of what makes the Missoula City Band tick. Thank you for whatever you can afford. Dig deep and give often. The band's been together more than 150 years, and for 100 of those years, 4 of us have directed. I've done 25 or so. The old boy before me did more than 50 years, Alex Steppenzoff, and then 2 fellows did it before them, a father-son team. Pete Lawrenson, did you make it up here? Pete Lawrenson, is he in the house? Maybe Pete didn't make it. Or he's shy and he doesn't want to peek out right now. Many people remember that name, Lawrenson. Well, I woke up about 4 months ago, early on a Sunday morning, going, oh my God, Lawrenson. He did not arrest me. He did not arrest me. He did not arrest me, Ross. But this picture of the Missoula City Band, 1929, the director is his great-grandfather, Charles Lawrenson, and the bass drummer in the band was George Lawrenson, his son. And the 2 of them conducted the Missoula City Band through the wars, from World War I all the way to World War II when Alex took over. And this grand medley that we're doing right now, one of them programmed on this concert. This is the salute to the Lawrensons and Pete Lawrenson's legacy. Here is Superba. Dig often and dig deep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come through the ages, and now we're to the epoch, finally, of Alex Stephensoff. And we've been able to find and channel the spirit and the presence and the best Russian accent this side of the Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the bandstand, Alexander Stephensoff. That's right, that's the same uniform.
Well, first of all, I've got to say thank you to Mr. Gary Gillette for inviting me back. I want to know that it's very honoring to have the Alex Stephensoff Memorial Band Show. Although I must say that memorial is a little disconcerting, but we'll do our best. This is one of our favorite marches entitled Washington Grace. Okay, are we ready? Before we begin, I need to remind the band about a few things that we talked about in rehearsal. So bass drum, remember, roompa, roompa, roompa. Okay, and trombones, I want some zip in that, okay? And everybody, let's do some dynamic contrasting. Okay, here we go.
like that as well. Oh my gosh. John Combs does Alex Stephens off better than the old man ever did himself. I swear on that one. Hey, you saw John in Alex's uniform. Mardell Lockwood, are you here this evening? Marty dug in their closets and bequeathed to me and the band that uniform that fits so well, John, and some other uniforms. Check out these gems, kid. Hey, please stand up, our uniform wearers. Notice, and now we turn to a fashion show. Wearing the dark blue with gold piping and lapel slacks, double-breasted and needed cleaning real bad. It's the uniform used in our 1930s picture at the fair. Modeling is our assistant. She does everything in the band. Amanda Tish right there. 1930s. Thanks to Stan Cohen for the picture. It's in the book. Modeling here on the trombone from the Benevolent Protective Order of the Elks uniform with the burgundy and gold braids and piping on the sleeves and slacks, Grace Locks, that's right. That this is the Elks uniform, and the Missoula City Band was whatever coat they put on. There was only 25 musicians in town until about 1960, and everyone was their band. With the Eagles band, the Elks band, the Moose Lodge, the Knights of Columbus, whatever it happened to be. Don is showing off the Elks Club. And thanks to Mr. Elmore for digging up and giving us some great pictures of the band. In the royal blue and gold piping with a double-breasted, probably there's the same picture worn in the 1960s courthouse picture that you can see in the Montana Club when you walk in the last booth on the left. This is Roscoe Jackman's uniform, daptly worn by Dan Dixon. John wore Alex's, and finally, our final uniform, the Charles Creed blue blazer, bought locally with a fake hanky in the pocket, and she put the badge on. Our Hornist and my assistant in all research. This is Susan Hintz in the final uniform. We did have a spat about the uniforms when I took over the band in 1992, and part of the disagreement, we were without uniforms. Well, it just freaking broke my heart. The most known soloist in the city band during all the Alex years has rehabbed. Here it is. You're on cue here, honey. Wherever you're hiding. And some of you saw her before. Is that her coming out the corner of my eye?
There we are.
And last year, as somebody else was on the bandstand, I was back over here sipping off of somebody's wine, probably. Thanks, Scott. And I saw her, and I leaned over and said, Twyla, would you ever consider please coming back and singing with the Missoula City Band? And she considered, and we met at Cafe Dolce, and we sang to each other. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Twyla Wolf. That was worth waiting through the rain in, huh? Hey, there's a couple other folks I want to make sure that if they're here that I thank them for all the help and preparation for this concert and the book. Is my publisher here, Dale Burke from Stonydale Press? Boy, has that man taught me lessons about trying to write a freaking book. Oh my God. Dale, bless you wherever you are. Dick Johnson, Dick, did you make it here tonight? Dick is 95 and came to our rehearsal. Someone's got to be sitting next, right there, Dick Johnson. That's the longest living band member forever. Dick was the city band till he couldn't breathe well enough. He's on his third pacemaker, for God's sake. He's 95. Thanks for being here, Dick. Marty already asked me. How about Arlene Dickinson? Is Arlene here? The widow of Bill Dickinson. Remember Dickinson Music? The oldest picture I have in the book is of kin of her music at Missoula's first music store, Dickinson Music. And how about Nancy Labby? Nancy, are you here? My colleague over at Big Sky who walked into the Montana Club, saw that band picture and said, I got relatives in that band. I said, oh, the heck you do. And before the night was through, I had 3 more pictures to put in the book. I know he's hoping to God I don't tell this story. I'm sorry, son. About 100 years ago, before I was playing in this band, I sat right there. And I had my 4-year-old son on my lap, as sons would sit, and Twyla came on stage in a white, sparkly gown, and the old man would just go Google anyway, Alex. And my son looked at Twyla, and he leaned back to me like this, and said, Dad, she's beautiful. There's my son Carl in the back row. I'm sorry, you know, when you have a microphone, your kids are, you do it too, right? If you had a chance to embarrass your kid in public, sure you would. Here's Twyla with Moon River. Yeah, it was worth the rain. Thanks for staying around. Yeah, I'll stay until all the books are sold and I've signed myself into oblivion. So I dare you, stick around. If you can't wait around today, I think I have a book or two available next week. I'm doing a reading at Fact and Fiction tomorrow at 7 o'clock if you have no life. Yeah, that's right, including you too. And thank you so much. It's so good to be back again for the season. And our first big concert is all downhill. No, it's been so much work getting ready. Usually we play half music that is familiar to us to try to have an easy start for the beginning of the year. That didn't work out that way this time. And I thank you for coming along with me. So thank you. What a bunch of fine troopers. I know, it sounds like we've been rehearsing all year. No, just the last 2 Monday evenings from 7 to 9. That's it. Well, to end up with, in commemoration of, let's see, I've got to find the date. I know, it's so much fun. Hold on, it's fun for a band geek. Maybe, I hope that you go along with it. Where the heck is it? There it is. In 1929, the final concert of the year was in September, and Charles Lawrenson was sitting in the clarinet section, the conductor, and his son, George, was playing away on bass drum, and George's young son, Bull, came to the bandstand, and there were 3 generations of Lawrenson in the Missoula City Band. Sitting in for young Mr. Lawrenson is a young Mr. McAtee, and here's a Stars and Stripes Forever.
Julia's dad would say. Julia.
Thank you so much, folks. Thanks for sharing our concert with us. I'll be signing and selling books up here, and we'll be shaking the rain off us. Bless you for hanging in there in the rain.